Well, firstly, congratulations on the movie, both of you, because it must have been really hard, Tabrez, for yourself to direct this, and Richa, for yourself to star in such a harrowing story. Tabrez, firstly, how did you come to get the story together?
So, about 13 years ago, 14 years ago, I stumbled upon a story about global sex trafficking. A girl from the East who was found in LA, trafficked in a container, and that's how all this started. That was my introduction to the world of global sex trafficking, and I got sucked into it. Initially, it was more for research and trying to get an authentic screenplay, and then as I kind of started to do more research and work with the NGOs, next thing you know, I was on raids and met a lot of the real girls through rescues and then through the whole rehab process. And out of all these real life stories, came Love Sonia. At that point, you want something in terms of your first film to be about something that you feel passionately about. And I felt passionately about the story, the cause, and that's how all this came together.
So you mentioned that you met some of the real-life girls, Richa. Did you meet some of the girls as well who had that experience?
Yes, I did. I wanted to... During my research, I met about 4 or 5 different girls and women. Some of them were still actively working in the brothel, and a few had escaped. And it's their stories that give meat to my character, because I understand, and it's difficult. It's impossible not to be changed by having interacted with them, not to be changed by what they go through, and not to give them dignity and humanity, because the word prostitute is an insult, but literally when you meet these girls, you will realize that none of what happens to them is their fault at any stage. They have no agency in their life whatsoever, and the things that they go through, it's really to hell and back. So they're exemplary courage. We all grow up with issues like, stuff happens in childhood, parents, blah, blah. But there are people, they should not be trusting any other human being the way they've been treated.
Indeed. Tell us about your character's journey, because you go through a bit of a switch. Initially, we're all thinking this is a bad woman, but then you go through a little change.
I feel like that is so true spiritually for even people. Like, no one's born bad. I think something happens to people and it forces them to behave or be a certain way, and as you peel off the layers, like, you see what really it is underneath. And this is what my endeavor was with Madhuri, to make her as real and as complex as possible, because it is impossible not to be nuanced in this kind of a setting. How do you not feel the guilt of doing to another girl what happened to you? How do you live with yourself? But yet you do, because you want to live and you want to survive and you want a bedroom with a window. I really think that it was one of the most difficult characters I've had to play, and I've worked in several films, but this one was really hard because the arc was so challenging. So,
you did a fantastic job, so well done. So the actual atmosphere, of course, the movie itself, a harrowing story, but how did you manage to keep it quite... Well, I'm assuming you tried to keep it quite light on set?
Yeah, that was his conscious decision. Yeah. We would all, thankfully we all got along. So when we were filming, between action and cut, it was pretty grim and serious. There was almost no light moments, but around it was a lot of fun, and we tried to make light of things. We tried to, because even, in the movie, you see that there's one scene in which Rashmi and Sonia just start dancing, because no one can be depressed all the time forever. Yeah. So, to bring out that stuff was really important as well.
And that little scene comes from a real life instance, where one of the occasions where I was in the brothel undercover, and through the crack of a door, I saw these girls dancing. And years later, one of the girls was rescued by a different NGO.
Okay.
And I remember talking to her about, and she said that regardless of what happens, they'll take anything.
Yeah.
Whether it's a moment to laugh or a song to sing to, but you need something.
Some escapism.
Something for the next day. And our set was very realistic. We shot lots of real life locations. Mm-hmm. So when you walked on it,
it felt like the real thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a conscious effort to keep it quiet, to keep it light. And
Only
for-
we would know what was
Yeah.
not real. You probably, because we shot in a lot of real life locations.
Yeah.
When we went to shoot in Kamatipura and Grant Road East, those suburbs in those areas in Mumbai, uh, he parked our trailer far away. We took a walk, covered my face with a sari, then walked into a clinic like all the other people, and you couldn't tell me from the other women that were there. Just displayed like across balconies,
Yeah.
waiting to be solicited for the day. It's really horrific. We met so many of them and saw the conditions in which they live. It's very tragic.
Yeah. What's been the response then from the organisations, charities? I mean, obviously this is bringing light to
Yeah, I mean,
such a topic.
For me, the biggest, I remember after I first finished the film, my biggest kind of sense of validation was after showing it to both of the CEOs of the NGOs that are involved in the film, two very big anti-sex trafficking organizations, and they both saw it and they loved it because it was real, and they felt like we navigated that line, not to exploit the exploited.
Yeah.
So response from that side has been fantastic.
Tabrez, he always had a few girls from the NGOs on set to make things very authentic. We would often go and ask them questions like, is this really what happens? They'd say, yeah, or no. They were always there to guide us and to keep it as real as it could possibly be.
Well, as I said, you've done an amazing job, so congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks
you.
so much.